Okay, now someone has to follow him, and the only one we have qualified is Heather Halverson. So we're going to bring her up.
First of all, I'm not sure what that means, Dave. And second, it's fitting to follow John. He is my spiritual hero. So thank you, John. I don't have as much humor or light approach to this because, to be honest, I approach you all very humbly and say that I was a total failure at work because I thought I was trying very hard on my own to make things happen. I've spent my lifetime being a perfectionist. I talked to Andrew a little bit earlier about that whole perfectionist theme. So for me, coming to an understanding that until I was ready to bring God into the situation, things were not going to be right at all at work. So I am a business continuity planner. Very simply, all that means is that I work with my offices to get them prepared so that in the event that something disastrous happens, let's say perhaps a hurricane, that they know how to focus on colleague safety first, then the status of their office, and then third, how does all of this impact their business and how are they going to continue operating after something disastrous has happened. I think it is so fitting, and it is not lost on me, that God has such a sense of humor, that a year to the date that this whole story that I wrote about came to be was that I was responding with my team to the 3 hurricanes that we were experiencing between Houston and then Florida and then Puerto Rico. And at that time, we were running for weeks on end, stressed out every single day, holding calls, making arrangements, helping our colleagues to, in one case, needed to be rescued off the roof of their home. In other cases, the people were displaced and they needed hotel rooms. And this was nonstop every single day for weeks on end because we had one event, then another, then a third, and then we had an earthquake in Mexico. So these things happen, and like I said, I'm a perfectionist, and I thought that I was doing such a great job until I realized that my new manager really had a different opinion. And part of that had to do with ego on his part and on my part too, if I were to be really honest about it. So I had a really challenging time. In the story, I talk about how we kind of came to head with each other, and I didn't handle it in the best way. And coming back after that, immediately realizing I did not have God with me. I didn't invite God in with me on a daily basis to help me with this crazy job that I have that God perfectly suited me for because I love to help people. That is what he created me for, is to be there to help other people. But I wasn't doing it with the right heart attitude, and I wasn't doing it with his help. I was trying to do it on my own. So coming to terms with that and then recognizing that every single day I needed to pray. So it's funny to me that in this year, all this time since then, ever since I turned around and realized every day I have to ask God, please help me to focus on the things that are most important today. Help me to do a good job for you, not for anyone else, but to please you and to honor you. And you equip me because I can't really do this job on my own to the best of my ability without you. Has made such a difference. And I told Pastor Steve, tonight it's testimony night. Because a year later, we have now, it's amazing to me, we're back at it again with another hurricane. We've got Florence that impacted the mid-Atlantic. We have had 7 days straight of responding to over 50 offices that we have in the North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia areas. It's been nonstop. It's been crazy. But what is the difference this time? This time God's been with me the entire way because I invited him in. He was always with me before, but it's like if you don't pay attention, if you don't honor the friendship that you have, the relationship that you have with someone, then they're just there in the background. God is with me every single day. And so this time I've noticed my boss has a much better attitude. I have a better attitude. We are not arguing with each other. Instead, we're looking at solutions. We're looking at lessons learned. If anything, I would say, and I think it's very timely. So this book comes out right around the same time that I can now look back and say, what's different this year from last year? But there was also a video that came out that was released 2 weeks ago by our company. We're a global company, so this was a big deal. They released a video of our team and our response last year to the hurricanes and what our job is and how we do to help our colleagues. So I'm featured in this video, right? Okay, we're featured in this video, and then I have this book over here, and it's all about, to me, it's all about how what an amazing thing God has done. Not for me, not for my glory. It's not about me. It's about what he has done and how he's just turned everything around. And so I give him all the praise and the glory for that. And then the other thing was just that, tonight it was very fitting for me. I sent an email to my boss. This time, I wasn't apologizing like I was last year. This time I was thanking him for his ability to show compassion this time around and have a lot of grace for me, because we're human beings and we do make mistakes. And it's been a very trying time, but it's a very different time this year from last year. So for me, it's really just about, like I said, giving God that recognition and inviting him in daily, because he has to be there daily. So thank you for the opportunity.